You know, disaster can strike at any time. And one of the things about disaster is that it's not the normal routine. In fact, it pulls us completely out of the way we live, and it kind of brings us into a whole nother world. And one of the most important things that you can have is your mindset. Having the right mindset will help you in a tough situation. You know, whether it be an emergency situation, a medical emergency, whether it be an environmental emergency like the storms that we've seen and natural disasters, or even in a self-defense situation where thinking quick on your feet could save your life, or in a total WROL or SHTF situation to where everything's gone crazy and the world around us has gone with it. And finding yourself in that kind of situation can totally leave you dazed and confused. And one of the most important things, if you have the right mindset, then you'll be able to act decisively and act with some direction. Now, the first element of this is the mental part of it. Because when there is a crisis situation, there's a lot of stress, there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of indecisiveness that goes on. In fact, your adrenaline takes over and your motor skills actually slow down. And if you have just some preparation, just some mental preparation to make some decisions that if this were to occur, I'm going to act in this way. Whether it's a wreck on the side of the road, whether it's someone being attacked, making up your mind ahead of time and deciding I'm going to do the right thing is super important to be able to react in the right way. We live with a lot of creature comforts, and you know, the older that I get, I find that my daily tasks are more around just sitting behind a desk and not so much the physical. And what happens with that is you become lazy, you get out of shape, and you've got to really stay on your game. It's a lot harder to catch up if you're behind the 8 ball. But if you can continue to stay in shape, get out and be very active, you're way ahead of the game when it comes to reacting in the right way. It's really funny, but a lot of men feel like that the more they eat, the more manly they are. I'm going to tell you something that I read a few years ago that really helped me as I was getting into that 40-year stage. It said, eat to live, don't live to eat. It's bad for your body, it's bad for your digestive system, it's just bad for you all the way around. And being out and being active will make you healthier, and it will make you happy. But in a tough situation, you'll be able to react the way you need to. Number 1, we have preparing your mindset. Number 2, we have getting yourself in good physical condition. And number 3 is knowledge. And knowledge comes from studying, from watching some good YouTube videos that are very instructional, very helpful. Reading good books, you know, the books that I just reviewed and recommended. Reading good books like that will help you condition yourself and to put you in the right kind of mindset to be able to react in the right way. Now, one danger is to gain a lot of knowledge and then never really put it into practice, really putting it to the field, trying out your fire starting capabilities, filtering your water, doing all these things, fishing. I mean, if you're not up to fishing, up to doing just basic rudimentary things, you need to learn these. First aid is a big one. Going to a CPR class, going to some other classes, just basic first aid. Getting your hands on it and actually performing those activities to make you even better. The last thing you want to do is to have a very needed skill for the moment and not be able to perform because it's all head knowledge and you've never done it. Now, my good friend USN ER Doc has said it before, is a lot of people have these suture kits, but if they ever had to use them, they wouldn't even know where to start. And listen, you can get started learning how to suture. And in fact, he even has a video on how to suture. He takes a pig's foot and they suture through it. And it's really incredible. But until you get the hands on, you're really limiting yourself. So practice is important. Which brings me to number 5, and that's gear. Listen, gear's at the bottom of the list. Yes, you need gear to perform certain tasks. But to be honest with you, if you don't have this mindset, if you don't have the practice, the knowledge, and you don't have the physical conditions, and then you just have all this gear laying around, it's not going to do you a lot of good. I know I do a lot of gear reviews, and guys, I show you a lot of products. And I don't mean for any one of you to buy them all, but it's just to show you different things that can help you in a crisis situation. But that's not substitute for getting out and using it or just depending on that gear solely, because it's not the gear, it's you. You're the one who decides your fate. you're the one who will make it happen if it does happen. You know, there have been so many stories where someone was just against all the odds and they were about to give up. And they just focused on their kids, on their wife, on their loved ones, and just overcame the will to give up and to continue to fight. And guys, you have to get that focal point. Whatever it is that keeps you going, you've got to focus on it and you've got to finish, because there is no alternative. We have to stand and we have to do our best. What really struck me and really shocked me is when I put out my recent book recommendation, a required reading video, a couple of people came in and said, guys, it's too late, it's the end of the world, you know, you might as well not even try, we're lost, just go ahead. And I was so surprised that people had just given up. Let me tell you something, the will to live, the will to fight and to keep fighting, the will to never give up, to overcome against the odds. That's what we have always admired in this country, and that's what will continue to make this country and other countries great, is the will to do whatever it takes to accomplish the goal. And that's what we need. Guys, we're too distracted by so many things taking us out of the fight. We are in a life and death struggle right now for freedom, and we need to make sure that we stay in the fight, the will to live. Don't you dare give up. Fight the good fight, do the right thing, and to stand for the oppressed. We're alone at birth, and then we're alone at death. And everything in between relies on us doing what we need to do. Our faith in God, and then He gives us the strength to do whatever it takes to stand up. You always hear it. We shall overcome. Well, we shall. But you know what? It takes a heck of a lot of effort. You know, when I was in my 20s, I considered myself to be just invincible. But then the older I got, and once I started having children, of course got married, had a family, I began to realize that it was bigger than me, and that it was important that I was there to provide and there to do. Listen, in a crisis situation, you just don't give up. And it's important that you keep a very strong, positive mental attitude that you can accomplish it. Because you can. You just set your mind to it. But you've got to continue to keep that in the forefront of your mind, no matter what's going on around you. Never give up, never give in. Studies around survival situations show that it's just a good, common, everyday person can overcome incredible odds. They can be the hero in the situation, or they can actually preserve their own life by just having the will to live. It's not just about us, but it's about those that come after us. And the ones that were before us put us where we are and allowed us to have the advantages and all the things that we have today. We need to be able to pass that along to future generations. And that means to stand up, to have the will to survive, and to protect your freedoms. And as always, thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more fun gun reviews and sensible survival. God bless America. Long live the Republic. Funny. What really struck me is funny not really funny. Studies about survival situations have shown that just common, everyday individuals rise to a level